Hi friends, this is Angelica. Thank you so much for joining me here on Scrapbook.com's YouTube channel. Today we're going to be putting a few cards together and we're going to be using the Market Bloom Rabbit die set. So let's take a quick look first at all of the products that we're going to be using, and I actually kept my product supply list pretty short. So we're starting with the rabbit die, and there are illustrations on the back of the packaging to show you what you can do with the dies. There are 2 sentiment stamp sets that also coordinate with the die sets, and we are going to be using Hello Spring. And then for colors, I am going to use the beautiful new 2024 Concord and Ninth Color Collection. The first thing that we need to do is some die cutting. So I pulled out my die cut machine and I die cut a lot off screen. I just did one run through on screen so you can see how I lined them up on my die cutting plate. So since all these pieces are small, I am going to make sure I put them back on a magnet sheet before I move on. I did lose a small die a couple months ago, and that was pretty traumatic for me. So I just make sure I get all the small dies put up first before I move on to my next step. And that step is putting these bunnies together. I did make sure to cut a bunny out of each of the 6 colors that are in this color collection. Not all of them made it to the final part of this video, but I got to see what a rainforest bunny looks like, and yeah, I wasn't really a fan. But the other ones I absolutely loved, especially this grasshopper green rabbit. I didn't know I needed grasshopper green rabbit in my life, and I was completely surprised when I realized this. For the eyes and nose and mouth, I did use brown cardstock. I thought the brown looked fantastic on the grasshopper green. The accessories, I also used those unique colors. So what I'm putting on the bunny right now is a watermelon headband, wild berry glasses, and then a wild berry shirt with creamsicle collar. Just going to use a small amount of glue to glue these pieces together and get the bunny on the shirt, and then I'm going to decorate the rest of the bunnies off screen. Oh, I already have some decorated at the top. So I started with the mint green bunny. That was the first bunny I put together, and because I was still a little hesitant. I don't know, maybe I should not have used these colors because these bunnies are going to be just so different than what people are used to seeing. But as soon as I put the blue bunny together, I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be great. And actually, I'm calling it blue, but the paper is eucalyptus. Now, I gasped when I saw this color palette from Concord and Ninth because it just took me back to my grandma's house in the 70s, to her kitchen. All of these colors were in her kitchen, and it was a lot of nostalgia to see these colors. My daughter, she wasn't really that impressed, but she's 6. She loves bright red and bright blue, all of the saturated colors. That's what she's all about. And I love more muted tones. I love grays in my colors and just kind of quirky off colors. And that's how I see this color collection. And I just think it's absolutely lovely. And I am so happy with how these bunnies turned out. They're so unique. I tried to pair the colors in different ways with the clothes and the hats and the glasses. Even with this bow that I'm putting together right now, the bow does come with the bow, and then there's a little piece for the middle of the bow. And I was doing just the same color on top of each other, but that last bow I decided to try the watermelon with the wild berry, and loved the way that looked. So I'll probably be making my bows in 2 tones from now on. Once I get this outfit put together, I am going to add the last round framed glasses on this creamsicle bunny. Now there are 2 round frames in this die set. There is a larger frame, and the circle sentiment stamp set I showed at the beginning, you can stamp onto the larger glass frames. But I decided I wanted all of these to be the same cardstock color, so I used the smaller frame. And now we're going to jump into the pattern paper. This color collection matches perfectly with Sunny Lane pattern paper. And the first print in this paper pack is just everything to me. This was like my grandmother's tablecloth. And oh, it just brought back so many feelings when I saw it. I added double-sided adhesive on the back of the paper. I'm going to put this right onto a card base. This, for all of the backgrounds that I'm making today, they are just going to be pattern paper. Just this paper pad is just so fun. So I decided skipping on stamping or doing anything on the background. Just going to use pattern paper and keep it super simple. So once I got the paper onto the card panel, I'm going to expose the adhesive backs, and I am using 1/4 inch Scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive. This is my favorite dry adhesive. It's really inexpensive. There is a lot to each roll, and I've been using it for years. Moving on to the sentiment, I am stamping a sentiment from Hello Spring onto a smaller white panel. And before I stamped it onto the front of the panel, I did put the back side up first, just to make sure I had that stamp lined up correctly. I would have stamped it onto graph paper, which I usually have in my Misty, but I do have a waffle flower grip mat in this Misty, so usually I have acetate with me, so I could just stamp it right onto the acetate, but it wasn't on my desk and I was being kind of lazy. So this is an option for you to do. Also, you just stamp on the back of your panel to make sure that everything is straight before you stamp it on the front. To attach the bunny to the card, I'm going to use foam adhesive. This is Scrapbook.com's foam adhesive, and my friends, they have 1mm size now. And if you're familiar with my channel, I probably say thin foam squares at least a dozen times. This is my favorite foam dimension. It's just slightly higher than if you glued two 110-pound cardstock pieces together. It's just the slightest perfect amount of height, and it's still like you can still just put a regular stamp on it and send it in the mail. Once you start getting into the 2mm and 3mm, you are going to want to put an extra ounce stamp, which is about 16 to 20 cents, I think, onto your envelope so it doesn't come back because there wasn't enough postage on it. So that's just a quick tip. If you didn't know that and you like to use foam adhesive, you just want to grab an extra 1 ounce stamp when you're at the post office. I'm going to put the sentiment on this last card here, and again, love the background. That black polka dot background is perfect, so I did have to make a black and white sentiment strip to go with it. So I white heat embossed this sentiment onto black cardstock and used my 0 center ruler to make sure I attached that sentiment in the center of the card. And now we're going to take a last look at everything that was made, and this is all from that pattern paper pack. I love that striped background on the birthday card. That little guy, so adorable with his glasses. So that finishes this video. Now, if you head over to Scrapbook.com's gallery, you will find more ideas and inspiration on how to use these products. So I'll leave a link to the gallery down below. I will also leave links to all of these products if you want to go look at them. And then if you want to find me, my YouTube channel and blog is also linked down below. That is all that I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care, friends.